You're listening to I'm Telling You. You're listening to I'm Telling You.
Hey fam, welcome back to another episode of I'm Telling You.
Hello, I'm telling you.
As always, your amazing host, Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Clickety clacker fact checker, Miss JD.
I love how you always come in like you're doing freaking, oh, it's a beta.
Not always. I changed
The
it up.
past couple of times, that's what it's been.
I gotta change it up, you know?
But yeah, anyways, if you want to reach out to us, which we would greatly appreciate, you can hit us up. Yeah, all three of us you can get at ITY, directionsandmusic.org. Yeah, and individually you can get Gemini.
GEMINI at directionsandmusic.org.
Or Philly D, PHILLYD at directionsandmusic.org. For first-time listeners, this is a 30-plus year friendship of me and you being jackasses, having amazing conversations, all raw, organic, so off the cuff that we have no clue what we're about to talk about until it happens.
You wanted to do this, man. This is your project.
I know, right? Welcome to the party, pal.
Green Room was my thing, but this is your project. This is...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we throw movie quotes, dad jokes. We get into like quantum physics, space time, anything and everything. We are space dust, like all that kind of good stuff. How to be a good person.
I mean, truly, this is social studies.
It's right. Yeah, I mean, there's some truth in there.
It's not geography. It's,
But we are here, man.
We're the study of...
We are here.
The social animal that is human.
I think that's an honest expression because we really are just attempting to be humans. And in doing so, communication seems to be a thing that is very necessary, socializing. We have to interact with one another. And that's something you and I have always been really,
and I
really
feel
awesome
like,
at.
I feel like it's the book thing, I feel like people used to do these things, but now they do it online. Now they do it.
You message, you email, you text, you tweet,
And half the time, you're talking to 27 other people that aren't in the room with you. There are people in the room with you that you could communicate with, but,
You're talking to somebody in like Nigeria or something.
A prince?
Yeah, probably.
I think I know that guy.
Yeah, I know, right? He still owes me money.
Is he coming to America?
I was made promises.
Dude, we were literally talking about that on break, coming to America. That is hilarious.
What were you saying?
What, follow the drip?
Follow the drip, yeah.
Yeah, man, from the Soul Glow. Because I was singing, you got that glow. That's from, The Last Dragon, Barry Gordy's.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, with, oh, God. I'm blanking already. That's horrible.
No, but that's all right, because...
It was it, I think, Destiny or something. It was the lady. And then you had your black martial artist. He was the alternate Bruce Lee. He was the Bruce Leroy.
It was supposed to be one of those, black exploitation video style. No,
it was no.
Offensive.
No, because here's the deal. Barry Gordy, also black. Most don't know that. He made The Last Dragon was also almost an entire black production. So he would only hire. Now there's mind you, you're in New York and stuff, so there's unions and things like this. But every opportunity he had, he hired only black people.
Word.
So behind the scenes and on the camera, it was 100% black pride. Have knowledge of who you are, feel big and strong. It's
a white guy. It's like, all right, you got muscles. All right, key grip.
But dude, it really was a celebration.
Got a job, but you in the background.
It was one of the first of its kind to kind of just really teach that and be positive and really be, aware of who you are and take pride in your heritage. So, it's a dope expression, I think. I'm cracking a beer.
Word. Let's do this.
You got to crack a beer. It's beer 30. Actually, it's like beer 10, but, Hey-o.
Sláinte.
Salud.
Prost.
That's a rodeo. Chin chin.
Salud. Well, it's in more than one language, so you can say it more than once.
It's like My Blue Heaven.
Just
He's
a different
like,
accent
you
on it,
dirty
that's all.
rat. I already said that. Yeah, but I say it better. All right. I see what's going on here.
Do you?
But yeah, no, I was singing the song "You Got That Glow" from The Last Dragon, which then went to Soul Glow. See, this is people, literally, this is how our brains work. Like, this isn't a joke.
Let your soul. Yeah, I knew you was here.
Yeah, I made the comment of, follow the drip. Yeah. Eddie Murphy, man. Eddie Murphy on Arsenio Hall. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of James Earl Jones is the
heyday.
father, right? He was the African king.
Yep.
Eddie Murphy was his son, the prince.
Which that's actually not the first time he's been the African. No, that is the first time he was the African king.
Is that true?
Well, technically Lion King,
But that's what I'm saying, though.
right?
I mean, king. I mean,
Wasn't he the king in Lion King?
yeah,
Just saying.
yeah. And then Simba was supposed to become.
It's James. It's such a shame that like the role that got him on the map, like he got paid diddly for because all he did was voiceover. But
Yeah,
it was
Darth Vader.
It was that made that movie. Like if you heard the original, if you can find the original track, because the guy was like Scottish or whatever who played.
Yeah,
it. And he runs through the entire thing. He does his own lines, and that was originally in the recording. But then they put James over top, and it was so much better.
oh yeah.
So much better.
He's got a great voice. I mean, he's a great actor too. He was in The Sandlot.
I just want to. He could read me the want ads, and I would.
Morgan Freeman, the same thing. Right?
Yeah,
just talk to me. Just
there's
talk
a
to me.
handful of actors that can just do that. Like maybe
Dude, David Attenborough. I can listen to him. I'm not big on
Attenborough.
British, but man, I mean,
Yeah.
the way it's just good delivery. Like Christopher Walken. Read me anything, bro.
But I mean, like the dictionary.
Read me the TV guide. I'm
the
done.
TV guide, whatever. I mean,
Tomorrow at 2:00, be like, oh my God, this is amazing.
The phone book.
Yeah, why not? I don't care.
yeah, just read the phone book. That'll do. That'll do.
Smith Johnson, 734 Pacific Avenue.
Like the whole thing, just like that.
I write every single one of them.
Just open up to a random page.
Do it in Bobcat.
That's on him. I ain't no Bobcat.
I don't know if I can do that, man.
Pretty much, yeah, no, that's about right. Fair to middling. Yeah, it's very walk-in. It's like this, ow! Here I am for this watch of my ass. 7 years. I'll be damned.
Go ahead, finish it.
Oh, my God. Oh,
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Yeah, no, that's, dude,
Love me some Walken. And that's the thing, like he never plays like an ordinary, like even when he's playing an ordinary guy, he Walkenizes everything. Like it's his own.
I mean, there's. I'm trying to recall. There's this one
it's like,
movie,
but not like Captain Kirk, where everything, every role he played was it.
something on the wing. Yeah, that
But
guy.
there's just, I guess it's Walken. It's totally different. Like the way the pitch of his voice and the tempo and everything changes depending on what he's saying. Oop.
I don't know. It almost sounds like he's always excited. Pretty much like he's just in that hyper state of activity.
Wow.
Wow. I got a fever. The only cure is more cowbell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Boom, 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 boom. Ding, ding, ding. Will Ferrell just banging a cowbell. See, this is one like I've said it before. I feel like a Dr. Pepper. No, it's SNL coming off of that era with Will Ferrell, Andy's, Adam Sandler, David Spade. I mean, all those cats. You're talking Chris Farley.
In their prime.
Dude,
you look at him now, it's like,
Did you
Chris
know
Farley? Well, nobody's looking at him, I guess. But
Did you know that Chris Farley was the original voice for Shrek?
really,
Yeah, he was in the middle of production when he had his untimely demise.
yeah.
Never finished, and so they actually just swapped out a whole new voice, and it was Mike Myers at that point.
Which totally works.
But think about
I couldn't
this.
imagine it. I don't know.
Look, look that up. Go ahead, look that up.
I couldn't imagine it any
Well,
other way.
Well, no, because Chris Farley died in like 97.
Okay,
And Shrek, I feel like, didn't come out until like
look it up. Look it up.
2003.
Look it up.
Call him out on it. Come
Yeah,
on.
go ahead. Call me out. Look it up. Look it up. Get some fact checking
Call
on
his
this.
bluff.
I'm pretty sure what I had read was he had met his demise during production.
But for real, I want to talk about some of this stuff you've been researching lately.
What's that?
Well, I mean, when I came over here today, you were really excited to show me all this stuff about Skinwalker Ranch or something like that.
Oh, because the show just culminated. So I watched the final episode for this year's season. There's 3 seasons of, but there's so much more backstory to it than just these 3 years between these individuals that they've been, videoing everything. I mean, all right. So the story goes.
It has kind of a cookie cutter feel to it, kind of like the Ghost Hunters thing.
It's History Channel though, so I think that's just kind of like their.
You're
style.
accurate, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Tomi arigato. I know. I got one. Yeah, no, because I used that in one of my trivia questions, and that's why I was like, I'm pretty sure the knowledge I read was, and I know because like I read the question, I was like, that's bullshit. There's no way in hell. I was like, holy crap, that's true.
That's how you remember it.
Yeah, I looked it up, and I was just like, yeah, do so many people when I asked that question because I did, is it a true or false? And I was like, true or false? I was like, Chris Farley was the original voice of Shrek the Ogre. 90% were like, that's
Do you know
false.
who turned it down?
Oh, I remember reading this, but I'm not recalling. Go ahead.
Nicolas Cage turned it
Yes.
down, and that's how it got to him.
Correct. Yeah, I remember that.
Cage.
Dude, he gets offered so much stuff. He also turned down Neo in The Matrix. Did you know that?
That would have been
Crazy.
a totally
I heard that.
different flick.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been what it was without Keanu.
Well, it never would have. No, I mean,
I mean, no disrespect against Nicolas Cage. I mean, I love him. I've seen him in so many
that's
great
what
movies.
I'm saying.
Like,
though it's not a negative thing. I'm just
Yeah,
that
no,
movie
I
would have
just-
been completely different.
Totally.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because it's Nick. I mean, he's got like kind of
He's almost like walking. He's got his own.
no, but he's got his
pizzazz
own like
and,
little freak outs that he goes through. You know, what I
That's,
mean?
that's
Like-
why he's like walking, where it's just like it's interesting and it pops and it's great. It's just like wow, okay.
Like the next thing you know,
Monkey's
he's
out of
like,
the cage, bro.
he's
You can't put him
screaming
back
at you.
in.
He's screaming at you, and his hands are in the air. You're like, whoa, what's?
He's easily excitable. I hear. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Or he
on
starts
that one.
pacing the room and going through some soliloquy. You know,
I don't know. I mean, dude, he's a dope actor. I like him in a lot of the stuff he's done.
Cage.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was this
Have you
Raising
seen his new
Arizona.
movie?
Raising Arizona is the
Dude,
classic.
he was
man.
phenomenal in that.
Was that?
His new movie,
He's got a
where
bunch
he
of new
plays
movies.
multiple versions. Well, he plays multiple different versions and ages of himself,
What?
and he makes out with himself.
What? Fucking movie
It's a
is
funny
this?
movie.
That's weird. Is that
It's a comedy,
like being John
dark
Malkovich?
comedy.
I know, right? Malkovich.
I'll have the Malkovich with a side of Malkovich.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, can I get a large Malkovich?
Hey, do we have any Malkovich? It's for a cop.
What's that mean?
So you spit it? No, so he'll make it really good. Give you the best Malkovich I ever
Make
had.
sure he doesn't spit in it.
Does that look like spit to you? Fuck it.
Don't spit in that burger.
It's for a cop.
It's just gonna make it extra good for you.
Yeah.
Does that look like spit to you?
Yeah. Fuck it. Starts eating it anyways. It's not until he pulls the label back and there's these Coke peas on him. Goddamn burger punks. And then so he like jumps over the counter. Did you figure what is it? What's the movie called? Did you not you? I thought that's what we were waiting. Isn't that what we were doing?
I was still looking at Shrek things.
I was still looking.
It's easy to get distracted. I understand.
It's like Wikipedia. You just
we're all over the place, right?
Are we infecting her? Is this what's happening? Are we getting to you? Starting to draw you into the dark side? We do have cookies here. You know what I mean? Just
Occasionally
saying.
there are cookies.
Yeah, and they're
Cookies?
dope. Is she cookies? Yeah. I mean, Oh my gosh. What are you doing over there?
Dropping stuff. I don't know.
Is it hot?
Drop it like it's hot.
That's what I'm saying. Is it hot? Is that why you dropped it?
No, because I'm a
Are
klutz.
you ready?
Am I pushing the? No, you're just pushing the table.
Yeah,
Oh, I
because you keep getting further and further from the mic, so I'm just pushing the mic further into your face. and it's easier to actually move the whole table because
All right.
my chair's on wheels and I'm
mouth.
just slide you over.
What? I'm sorry.
No.
What? What happened?
So you ready for the name?
Yes, please.
It is called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
I just did that in like the movie phone voice, by the way.
Somebody approached him with it. And he thought it was ridiculous, but it was like so ridiculous it was funny.
Boy, does he play himself in this movie?
In every version, yes.
See, I feel like maybe I've seen commercials or something for this.
It's recent.
Yeah.
What's the one that you just showed me that I have? When is that coming out? The one that I have to see.
What's that?
I forget when it. The now and everywhere and.
Oh no, that's everything and all things at once or something like that.
Yes.
It's out right now.
It's out.
Yeah. You can it's online somewhere.
Oh,
One of the streaming platforms has it available.
we should do a bro date.
Bro, we have so many bro days we need to go on.
No, but we need to do that one now.
We need to go bro camping at this point.
I'm gonna put my foot down. We should do that one.
Like a whole weekend of broing it up. That's where we're at.
That's what I'm saying.
We're so backed up on our broing.
Take some time off work. I got some time in the week coming up. I'm just saying.
Dude, every time you're not working, I am, and when you are, it's our schedules are completely backwards. As well as we actually work at the same time too. So there's
That happens.
this is like the only time we actually can get time together, man.
Or when I'm randomly at the Q Mart on a Friday.
That'll happen too.
Yeah.
This is a true story. Not a joke. Randomly showed up trying to do some work, and then there you are. That cracked me up.
But yeah, I've back to the other thing though. Like you got me fascinated with all this stuff about what was it? A gravitational anomaly.
There is the proposed.
So good. So I'm sorry, talking back about the Skinwalker Ranch thing.
Yeah, so this is a literal spot in Utah where I guess the easiest, what I said to you, so the easiest way to explain this is back in the day when we started hearing about all these cattle mutilations and stuff, like these really weird interactions.
Chances are.
No, that's where the story came from. The original broadcast of that being put out was coming from what's called Skinwalker Ranch. And that's its nickname. That's not its actual name. Although I think it is now. They're just like, yeah, it's Skinwalker Ranch. Welcome. Come on in. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
The town actually has a name other than, right?
Yeah, well, I forget the name of the town that it's in, but it is the Utuan Basin. So it's in Utah in this one specific area. And this is a large property.
And now this is the original home of a certain tribe of Native American, or
so that was the way the story goes is, and you might want to have to double check me on this, but I think it was Navajo and Lakota, or like Navajo and Cherokee. It was one tribe was warring with the other because the other was enslaving it. So they fought, separated. Doing so, they also cursed the land in the other tribe. Now the speculation is that the land has been so energized in that fashion that there's a literal portal on the ground. So there's some anomaly that could be seen as wormhole or, a gravitational anomaly where it disrupts things.
It's not at a static location though.
Well, it is because it's located to relatively just this area, which is the ranch.
But it's not a static. It moves.
it seems to do so in a very intelligent fashion. So it's every time they would go to do an experiment, somehow or another, something would fail while everything was like in perfect working order. All the batteries are great. All the connections are there. Like stuff's been running. It's all hunky dory. As soon as they go to pull a trigger, poof, stuff just like shuts off. And it's like over and over and over again.
But that's not the proof, though. I mean, where's the...
So that's the thing is, and because they're...
So
what do you
it
got?
was Navajo.
Okay.
And it said that the name was taken from Skinwalker of the Navajo legend of a vengeful shaman. It is also original name Sherman Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's located in...
I'm not here to pronounce things. Yeah, we know. Go ahead.
Something...
No, I know you're going to make fun of the way I say it. It's Ballard. It's Ballard, Utah. For all you non-Massachusetts people, Ballard.
Yeah, Ballard. Okay, yeah.
Ballard?
Baller? Yeah, but which is, it's a sex. But so that's the thing is, so the majority of these phenomena have seemed to be isolated to just this piece of property, which is pretty expansive. I mean, does it say how big the ranch is in total? And it's a pretty big ranch. I mean, it's acreage.
512 acres.
There you go. Yeah, so it's acreage. And yeah, originally bought by the Shermans because they were going to raise cattle. Well,
that
then
sounds like a lot of land.
Oh, but when you're raising cattle, I mean, you need space to grow. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna field feed them. You're gonna get them out there in that, in the range. You got to have range to move them on. But so they buy the ranch. They start getting these cattle mutilated and all this kind of crazy stuff. And at this point, you start to get some interest from science groups, which actually start to get some government funding to run these programs, but they're also getting, carte blanche on the knowledge and whatever else. Fast forward to, the recent years, we're now on a new team of scientists, and they're actually videoing it and producing it as a show on, it was like History Channel or something. And they're showing you their experiments and everything else they're doing. And as you watch season after season, episode after episode, while, again, this is a very scientific approach that they're doing with it, they won't draw evidence, as you would call it, from a correlation. They need to have cause effect. They need to be able to duplicate. I mean, that's what fact is, science speaking. So they basically empirical data. Yeah. So they set up to do these things again and again and again. And there is always a consistency on pretty much every experiment where they're going to do something, and somehow or another, the land almost fights back. And it seems and so again, while they can't say it is intelligent because they don't know where it's coming from, so you can't say this is an intelligence. It could just be a anomaly, coincidence, whatever else. However, as they've been going over year after year, experiment after experiment, the data certainly does suggest that there's a level of intelligence transpiring from this thing.
They shoot, amongst other things, like you said, dropping like cans loaded with like
soda bottles, like the
GPS
little 1 liter
locator chips, basically.
Yeah, they were like 1 liter bottles and stuff. Yeah.
And I'm assuming they had like whatever proper shielding and battery power all built into like one.
I think they were like packed with foam and stuff and whatever else. And yeah, these things were meant to fly, take impact, and then retrieve data from.
And you were saying between that and the fascinating thing for me was the like the model rockets. I guess they would do varying sizes of mostly larger model rockets.
Oh yeah, they were like 3 feet, 6 feet, 12 feet. These were
Setting them
some
up
big
with-
freaking rockets.
With GPS in the payload.
Yeah, but GPS, radiation, they're looking for gamma rays, microwaves. There's a multitude of equipment that was going up in these payload compartments on the rockets because they were trying to extract as much data as
Just
possible.
trying to see what sticks, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw a bunch of at the wall.
Yeah, we don't know what it is, but we're going to find out if there is or isn't. Yeah, and the one thing that keeps coming back seems to be GPS data anomalies that, because I mean, I didn't even tell you this. In the final episode, they had a guy come out and took aerial footage with the drone. But what he did while he was doing that is they took thousands of pictures. And from those pictures, they can put it into, a software system, and it'll extract a 3D model of that area. Mm-hmm. So now you can look at it from a multitude of angles, as well as zoom out so that you can see things that you just walking the ground, you're never going to see that stuff.
Right.
But from this aerial view now, you can get a much wider perspective, and they're trying to really just look for things that maybe they couldn't see because they're literally that close. Well, in doing this, there was 2 different separations of data where it basically had this perfect 3D model of all of the land, but there was almost like these pixelated smoke wisps that were coming up, like small tornadoes of just literally look like square cubed pixelated data.
Right.
And each one of these, there was, like I was telling you, there was a portal, or noted as a portal by the original, the native people. This is the location, and there's, a headstone.
And it was displaying actual notable evidence of...
Well, so here's the kicker is they found, when they were going through the data, they found this one digital mass. And I mean, it literally looked like that. What the hell is that movie with Russell Crowe and frickin' Denzel Washington, when they're Virtuosity, when they were in the computer system or whatever? So, like Lawnmower Man style, when you had that weird tornado pixel, it mapped itself out like that. And the guy's like, what the hell is this? So he's thinking it's like a corruption in the data or something else. And he goes back to all the people about it, and they're like, yeah, that doesn't happen. We've never seen this. Like, this is not common. We can't help you on this one, buddy. Well, so he finds the first one, continues going through the data, and finds a second one. Here's the kicker. If you look at from, because again, it's a full 3D map. So if you look from the correct angle of either side of one of these weird pixelated tornadoes, it lines up with the second one. And the reason why it does that is because what's in between the two of them is the headstone at this spot where the supposed portal is. So the 2 collected weird glitched data pieces literally dead in line with this thing. That's how they line up. And I don't recall the direction in which they were running, east to west or something like that, or if it was on a latitude or something. But I mean, they're literally rotating through the data. And they're like, yeah, look at this. Hold on. And he flips it, and all of a sudden it's just like, are all 3 of those in line with each other? Like, yes, they are. That's exactly what just happened. Holy crap. Because again, this gravitational anomaly, the camera, in order for it to extract the data and put all these pictures together to give you this 3D model, has to also work off of GPS. Mm. And if you're having a gravitational anomaly from what they're seeing data-wise with other GPS experiments they've done,
it'll show that too.
It distorts your represented area. It completely modifies it to the point where it showed objects going in and out of an entire mesa built of rock and dirt. And it wasn't just like GPS logged little, the bottles and stuff. It was showing other equipment. There was an airplane experiment they did. And the airplane experiment also showed that the plane went through the mesa because they were logging data from these other sensors that they had in the plane. And the plane's flying around, getting a graph of the whole area, kind of just trying to do an aerial back and forth where you're mapping everything out.
And it even said it went through?
It said the plane went through the mesa.
Even though
it definitely did not.
Did not go through the mesa.
Oh, yeah, no, there's videotape. The flight was, perfect. Everything was hunky-dory. Yeah, it wasn't until they got back and extracted the data all of a sudden they're like, apparently the plane went through the mesa. Well, that's interesting. And it's always when they're in this relative area where, what they're calling is the, gravitational anomaly. Whether that be a wormhole, a portal, whatever you want to call it, Stargate, something
of that this triangle space they were talking about?
Well, so the triangle is where it seems to be very localized. So if you're going to get any kind of relative response, this seems to be the area that agitates the most, as well as, like I was telling you, when they were doing this one helicopter experiment when they flew over this area, the triangle spot, all of a sudden the helicopter's altimeter goes from, like 3,700 feet or 5,000 feet. No, it's just like bloop, 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 bloop. It starts dinging off and it's like 40 feet to ground, 40 feet to ground. You're just like, what the hell? And you can see the pilot's eyes just like bug. He's like, that's not good. And the bay doors are open and dudes are dropping stuff out and they're like, no, we're not 40 feet from the ground. Like, we're a mile up, buddy. We're good. And, the pilot's just like, yeah, if my equipment's not working well, he's like, we got to land. And they're just like, oh, crap. And they literally were just like, forget it. And they just dumped their entire load and just started chucking all these bottles out of the doors and stuff. And they only found so many of them.
Dumped their entire load.
Yeah, they did. Oh, skeet, is it going? Oh. And they drop all these out and they only find a couple of them. And only a few of those within they found had, extractable data. And the data they got, same thing. They said these things were going through the mesa, which that's also a story on the property, is that they would see these, the locals would witness a light orb of some sort that would come in.
Are we saying UAP?
Light orb. You
UFO.
can't, you don't know. It's, this is anecdotal, so there's no evidence of this. But they would say that these light orbs.
With a bright.
Yeah, something with an aura or a glow that was not strobing like a standard aerial vehicle of ours. But these, these light orbs would literally go in and out of these mesas. So the potential idea is that somewhere within this mesa is either a base of some sort or a portal of some sort and or both. And that was the one episode we were watching that I was kind of introducing you to. They had a demolition expert come out and look at one of these spots where an earlier security member of the team, one of the earlier experiments when the government funded stuff, not the new stuff where it's privately done. He's like, yeah, there was a cavern here. Like there was definitely a cavern. So they bring out a demolition expert because they're like, it kind of looks like, doesn't exactly look like a cave-in. Like, the rains came and it just washed out. So they bring in the demo expert and he's like looking at this, that, and the other. And he goes, yeah, no, somebody set something off here. This is not a natural way for rocks to be formed. Like this is what it looks like when you exploded. And his view was like, I feel as though from looking at what this is, somewhere right around here, which is exactly where the guy who he had never even met is like, yeah, no, there was definitely an opening here before. Not like huge, but there was definitely an opening of some sort. And, now it's gone and there's this massive rock thing.
So in a way you're saying there's corroborating evidence of the...
Could have been either a Stargate.
But not empirical.
Correct.
Witness.
So, yeah, and that's the thing. So now you're talking about like anecdotal as well as you can't quite repeat the experiments with the outcomes because they're slightly modified every time. But as you do these congruent steps, the data seems to slowly but surely point towards the idea there is definitely an intelligence of some sort that could potentially be a wormhole, portal, Stargate. And there's something intelligent about it.
About the actual Stargate?
Yeah, because whether somebody's controlling it or something is controlling it or it itself is, in a sense, alive.
There's something on the wing.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. They don't know. And because they only have correlatable data, that's not evidence. It's just like, well, I mean, if I study more, I get better grades. That's a positive correlation.
Well, I mean, the question is
truth.
How many witnesses do you have to make it serious?
Well, see, and that's the thing. So
how many witnesses do you need in Texas to put somebody to death? You know what I mean? It's, what is it, 3?
I don't know.
3 sounds like a good number.
Do I look like a lawyer or somebody who's in the correctional?
I mean, but having corroborating evidence from different sources, you know what I mean? Like,
so
especially when you're talking about anecdotal.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is with the scientists, they're attempting to take so much data in. So they're checking radiation, gamma rays, microwaves, RF signals. They have video running. They got microphones on. They have all this different equipment on themselves. It's...
Right, they're not just tuning into radio waves. They're
listening and looking for anything and everything. And constantly, and not just in like one location, but all over the entire ranch, as well as each individual typically they carry a small amount of equipment on themselves doing the same thing.
Right.
So they're always looking for registering. And sometimes a lot of it is they're going back and re-watching, the footage of everything because they can't watch all these cameras. So then there's the one guy, he literally just goes back and re-watches footage over and over and over, just looking for stuff. And they find some crazy shit,
Some of it's just like audio, like RF signal.
Well, so the one thing that was when they were doing experiments and they seemed to get some sort of visceral response where it seemed intelligence, there was a corresponding relative 1.6 gigahertz RF signal. So something, like a radio station being, 92.5, that's their broadcasting frequency.
Right.
Well, this one was frequent, its frequency was 1.6 gigahertz.
Roughly.
Yeah, well, because sometimes it was like dead on 1.6, sometimes it was like 1.62, 1.64, but it was basically 1.6 every time.
Right.
And nothing that we're aware of, like
60%
nothing,
of the time.
Nothing does that, like nothing resonates on that system. So it's like this is not a standard signal of any kind. This is not a standard.
And I wonder how much interference do you have to have over a broadcast network of a certain channel that you just consider like, oh, well, that's just normal. That's just.
Well, and that's the thing though, is this isn't just
like, how is it you deem this intelligent if it just kind of sounds like static noise?
Well, so that's the thing, is it's not so much that the signal is intelligent. The thought would be that whatever is generating this signal is the intelligence. So whether it's operating equipment or it's some sort of mental capacity that registers on this frequency, or they have no freaking clue. The thing that constantly comes up though, which is why again it's not evidence, but because it happens on such a consistent basis. When they start doing stuff, which one of the big things that they got told when they took over the property was don't dig. Whatever you do not dig. Yeah, it's like Pet Cemetery. It's like, don't get in the ground. You don't go up there. Like, yeah, no, they're basically like, dude, do not dig in the ground. This is the dumbest thing you could ever do. Well, anytime they would do that, as well as, a multitude of other experiments, but anytime they seem to be getting to that point where they're going to do something experiment-wise, collect data, something, shit just really goes wrong. And the few times they've dug, things have really gone wrong, where there was a few people that actually had physical ailments come from disturbing the ground in a sense.
Yeah, you were saying a number of different cases where the situation, like at first, was identical, where they dropped to their knees, like holding their head, or...
Yeah, and most of them all said the same thing.
Like a shooting pain going through their eyes, and
it was like a headache from behind the eyes. Most of them it would be so blinding that they literally, like, my eyes went black.
Yeah, so it's like your occipital area, which is basically on the back of your head. Like if you were to go draw a line directly from your eyes to the back of your head.
I've taken classes. Oh, that was for people at home. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Well,
no, just calm yourself.
I had to do all kinds of studies when I was brain injured.
Yeah, right, dude.
No, I had to learn about post-traumatic seizure, all kinds of stuff.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And it's a good Sunday conversation.
Sure.
Have you heard about post-traumatic seizures?
Its effects on you psychologically, physically. It's wild stuff, man.
Yeah, well,
and then not only like the visible, I never knew this before, but like when I started looking into it, I mean, there's the visible signs of seizure that most people would consider recognizable as a seizure would be a grand mal, where it's basically your entire body is affected, and it's basically a full muscle twitch on just about every muscle in the human body, all randomly firing off at any time, or just kind of like flowering from a certain area sometimes and just going outward. There's no really discernible pattern to it, and that it's very obvious when it's going on. That there's a disassociation with your physical self. Like when you're experiencing it, you'll actually have what's known as a I not a halo, an aura. It's called an aura, which is a sensation that comes on right before you have a seizure. This is a grand mal seizure that you'll have.
That's what, like, can people see this, or the individuals?
It could be a smell. It could be a visual. It could be audio. It could be, but it's something that's significant to your experience. Like it's almost like the fingerprint of your experience personally. Is called an aura. So it could be, like they say with stroke or something, it could be like something like the smell of burnt toast or something like that. You could smell, it could be like lightning strikes in your eyes.
Do you smell muffins?
It could
I smell muffins.
Whatever it is that you experience, however you experience it, it tends to be pretty original to the person that has it, but that there's usually a tractable, repeatable experience. And that's been nicknamed an aura. But this is all in relation to a grand mal seizure. But what I didn't know before studying was that there's this whole mini seizure thing that can go on, where basically you could be just sitting there perfectly normal and just for like 4 seconds just drift off, and you're not just drifting off, you're having like a tiny seizure.
Right.
But like, to be able to pick that out and know that somebody's having that, like you'd almost have to be under observation for so many hours to figure that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, from stories I've heard with like parents that deal with that with kids and stuff, is they can just look over and they get that, like, it's almost like their eyes glaze over.
It's like you're not even blinking, for 10 seconds.
No, they were like, yeah, I could look over and just see them. And it's just like, oh crap. And they just knew it. I mean, dogs pick up on that stuff usually.
I mean, there's ones where it's just minimal twitching, but I think that's still technically a grand mal. But I'm talking about ones where you can't tell. Oh, hey. It's just they stop for a second. And if you didn't know to look for it, it might just look like they're being pensive.
Resting bitch face.
Not terribly disoriented.
Why you gotta look at me like that? Oh my God, he's having a seizure.
Because, not terribly disoriented, because it's not like you're really missing a huge chunk of time. It's just like there was a quick firing that had nothing to do with your conscious thought for a minute, and you just kind of blacked out. Nothing happened in that time.
Right.
So to you, it's not like you missed anything.
It's almost like a small
like dissociation.
What's that?
What?
Like dissociation.
Like dissociation? What?
No, I think
yeah, like where like as in
as if
yeah, like dissociative almost.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like that state where you're just like zoned out.
As far as
you're
I
like
know,
there, but you're not there.
Yeah, as far as I know, anytime you have a seizure, you naturally have an out-of-body experience. It's sort of like you're not experiencing much during that time. It's almost like a blip. But you have a sensation, an aura that comes on before it, and then basically just euphoria. And then you wake up hurting because basically like your muscles all just kind of went crazy for 2 minutes, and all fired off randomly.
Yeah.
So you'll wake up sore, but the experience itself is relaxing. Now, but the disassociation, I think, is because it's such a shorter lapse of time. I think in the tiny seizures, that it's almost unnoticeable to the untrained eye, which is kind of creepy when you think about it.
Why? What do you mean?
I don't know. Like there's certain things that you should probably pay attention to if you're concerned about, mental health. Especially if you've fallen on your head a lot or been accident prone.
Is this a PSA for your friends right now? Is this what this is? Is this the nice way to say, hey guys, watch me?
I read something the other day and it totally made sense and clicked, and it does link. It was about Western and Eastern medicine because I was looking up Ayurveda medicine and stuff like that. But there was this quote, and it said, the Western doctor is not able to identify disease until it is at its fourth stage and completely manifested, versus an Eastern will be able to see like those signs and symptoms because they're more consciously aware of this stuff.
Yeah, I think that's on the level of like chakras being blocked and that kind of stuff and what stress really does to you.
Or your vagus nerve, or same thing, chakra, vagus nerve. Yeah.
I want my doctor to have synesthesia. I want my doctor to just look at me and smell me and go, oh yeah, you have this, take this for 2 weeks.
Dude, that was actually, there was an episode of
Essentially,
Scrubs.
that's what Ayurveda can do. It can look at you and be like, okay, your posture's this way.
Your aura
the way
is
you
this,
walk,
and
your foot drags, or you have
some of
this type of body structure. You
science.
smell.
I mean,
well, no, it could be like, okay, you smell a certain way, like certain things will denounce like certain issues.
Okay.
That you can prevent disease by noticing these things.
So it's almost like having a third eye just because you know what to pay attention to. Or is it? Or is there spiritual involvement? Because that's what Reiki is supposedly about. That there's...
Ayurveda is a science medicine. Yeah. Ayurveda is like the way you eat, the practices that you do, rituals, as far as like how you brush your teeth, how you scrape your tongue, what food you put in your body. If you're out of whack, then you need like something bitter. If you're like one type of dosha is stronger, trying to balance everything out, making sure that you're completely balanced within your body through mind, body, soul, and diet.
Hot shit.
Hot fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, no, that was like on an episode of Scrubs. The guy, like the doctor, was just like, he couldn't find the patient's chart, and he was just like, damn it, what does this guy have? And he like leans over and he just smells him, and he was just like, yeah, like I could really tell what it smells like. And he guesses what it is. It's like, oh, it smells like, stage 2 lymphoma or whatever the heck it is. And he's like, what are you suffering from again? And he tells him, he's just like, damn it. He's like, I was right. I don't think that actually works, but just roll up and just like,
I don't know.
Smells like multiple contusions.
I don't know. I mean, they say dogs can do it.
But there are also sensing on a much different level other than just smell.
No, but smell is we only use a very small fraction, even when...
Well, look how tiny our nose is. Dog's nose is smaller. No,
it's not just, it's
but
the whole...
think about that. Your nose is directly above your mouth, and you don't notice if you have bad breath. Somebody else has to tell you if you have bad breath.
No, if I got bad breath, I can smell that shit. I can taste it.
If it's bad enough. But, I mean, to some extent...
If I can't taste it, then we're good. If I can taste my breath, be like, nah, can I get a mint, some gum, maybe a little water, just something? Saying you can taste that shit. What? But you gonna challenge me on this? I don't know. I can taste my own bad breath. Yeah, if it's that bad, you can taste your breath. Yeah, we got problems.
I was just gonna say, is it like that thing, like like my fart doesn't bother me. It can get clear room, but it doesn't bother me.
Well, but I mean, you make a really good point, because that's
like a
the thing.
Scorpion can't sting itself, kind of.
Well, so we, like our bodies, because of there's so much data to ingest, it picks and chooses depending on how we program it what it ingests. Well, if we're wearing cologne, perfume, whatever else, if that's a standard smell, it's just like it just throws that data away. It's like, I know what that is. I don't need it. It completely disregards it. So.
Oh, after the first 10 minutes of it, you forget you're wearing it.
Well, I was thinking more of the nose over the mouth thing is.
But yeah, the same thing. I'm saying.
Plus, we don't live in a cartoon world. If we live in a cartoon world, you could just see it. You'd be like, why is my vision blurry? Be like, oh, my mouth is stank. Just saying.
You see little wavering green lines.
Exactly. That's what
the green cloud.
Yeah. You got me, bro. You got me. Thanks for picking up what I'm laying down.
It's 3 wavy lines. Yeah.
Oh, it's not your day.
Forget about the $10. I'm out of here.
You can keep the $10. We're paying you, aren't we? Dude, that's such a. Oh man,
You sure you can't see these things?
I'm curious as to how much writing they actually did between Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray and all. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I have a feeling that even if there was like a fully done script, I think it was just kind of like, look, if you go off script, I'm going to keep recording. I mean,
yeah, because you're talking Ivan Reitman. I mean, he definitely knows what he wants, but I'm sure he's also very trusting in knowing that he has the right people for the job. That he's just like, fuck it, what do you got? Well, let's see this shit.
There's that thing too, like, and you can't necessarily repeat that, but there's a certain chemistry that certain actors have with each other, and when you allow that to happen naturally, I think. I would agree that probably some of the funniest movies we've ever seen in our childhood growing up, whether it's Chevy Chase or Richard Pryor or Eddie Murphy or whatever it is, like that role may have been fully scripted at some point, but there was obvious, there was ad-libbing at some point.
Yeah.
And I would say most, especially when you talk about Chevy Chase.
Dude, I feel it's the same thing with like Bill Murray and shit, I think.
Bill Murray, yeah.
Dude, Robin Williams, I feel like, because dude, that was the same thing as
like, are you going to stop recording and call cut when like one of them goes on a rant? Hell no.
No.
I'm going to keep recording, and if I don't like it, I'll just do another take. But
yeah. Do you need more? I got 2 more of me. I can do this. Yeah, let's go from the top. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But that's, I don't know. I love how we were on Skinwalkers and now here we are on Bill Murray. That's awesome.
But that's the beauty.
That's
of
what we do here.
That's the beauty of it, because you don't want to get hung up on one thing for too long.
Did we go through a portal?
Well, we don't have a guest on. I think when we have a guest on, well, no, it's still meanders. Never mind. It's just the nature of the show.
We infect everyone, dude. She's becoming corrupted. Oh yeah,
with the short attention span thing, or
it's happening. Do you remember she's like, I'm looking up Shrek stuff.
I'm just saying, because it just...
Well, I was looking at the dates when it was actually released, so I could see, because I knew he died in 97. So I was like, and I know Shrek came out like after 2000, so I was trying to mentally figure this out. And it was obviously 97. I was right on that, his death. But it was 2001 that it actually got released.
Yeah, which, animated movies, they take forever to make. Because, you're literally drawing every freaking thing, so...
But if Farley had already done most of the movie at that point, then the movie was already animated.
No, he was... No, that's not true. Because sometimes they actually just have him do, like, test screens where they do the vocals on it and stuff. It
said that he nearly almost completed it.
Yeah, it was... I want to say it was, like, 2/3 or something like that. Like, it was... Mm-hmm. It was pretty close.
I wonder if that stuff's out there.
But... Oh, I couldn't tell you that.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's another thing, though, is movies get shelved all the time. They start getting made, and there's like, oh, we got to pull the budget, or they, like, move things around and stuff. So, yeah, who knows how long it took for them to find somebody else and then put it in, and then, because of that, maybe they had to make changes to what they were doing. Like, So I say animated movies take forever. That's a long, long process.
That's true. True that.
And also between 97 and 2001, like, they got better graphics and technology to do so.
We can make it bigger, better, stronger, faster. No.
Yeah.
$6 million, man.
We can do all that. This really tastes like chocolate. It's cracking me up.
I told you, bro.
It's weird.
I told you, bro.
There is no chocolate in this beer.
This is not the beer you're looking for.
I don't get it, though. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
It's so crazy. I don't get it. I don't.
This is like crazy, man.
What is this, like 7%? 8.4 actually. That's we were responsible. We only had, one per. We did well this evening. Responsible adult here.
Let it flow.
Dude, we've done that so many times at this point. It always goes to Beastie Boys. And it's like, you know what? Not this time. It's getting late. We don't need Beastie Boys up in here.
Is it late?
It's getting there. Oh, it's getting there. We are close. I know.
You are golden. Well, this is where I just got to throw out like some random quote or do something silly.
I was going to be like, Echo Flight 735, coming down eastbound. Got you cleared from runway 49. Like, oh, eastbound trajectory. Go ahead and bring yourself out. Like, oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I'll copy. Roger.
How did this all get started?
What's our vector, Victor? Clarence. Huh?
Well, a long time ago, there was the dinosaurs. But they were too fat and they became extinct.
Oh my God. See, that's another good movie. That just the direction, the cast. Like, we really just don't make movies like that anymore, you know? It's kind of a shame. Like, dude, it's...
Wait, I got a good quote. We'll get a couple of hard pipe-hitting motherfuckers.
Oh, that's not what he says.
Go to work on your ass with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch.
Yeah, that 73% of the time. That's pretty close.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no.
You do better?
No, I'm just saying, I'm not, no, because there's a very specific word that he uses, and I'm not going to use it in context correctly right now. Just leave it at that. Show respect. We good.
73 is going to have to do then. Sorry.
Yeah, hey, but that's, people know. We get it. It happens. We're all right.
No, we said that's okay because that's, what did you call it? What is that when you do that to a movie?
Swaz it.
Swaz it?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's where you go swaz it. It's got my own fingerprint.
Like, dude, when they're redoing Driving Miss Daisy, Jack Black is yelling at Mos Def in the front. He's drive, honky. It's like, he's like, I'm pretty sure that's not right. It's like, no, that's not how that one works. But yeah, hey, good. That was very good acting. Dude, and you know what? I like the idea of swazzing, like, because I mean, when we talk about our movies in that fashion, that's pretty much what we do. I mean, we can take the entire thing and shrink it.
I feel like Jack Black's entire acting career has been swazzing it.
That's just his style. That's just how he does it.
Like, I mean, it works for him. It
He's
really
like,
does.
did you read the script? Yeah, we're good. And he like throws it behind him.
Exactly like Tenacious D. I mean, that was just,
dude. When they were on
I think
HBO,
a lot of people realize, like, if we want just this,
yeah, right.
Like, we just tap into this anytime we want, and
but they
start pulling him into movies. And like, he's actually a really good actor.
Oh yeah, he is. Dude, he was in Airborne. Come on. Did he call you a piece of woman's underwear? Yo, bro, dude, he just did it again. Yeah, man, best acting ever. Actually, no, he was pretty good in that one. Dude, I think
that was a bit part though. I mean, it wasn't really.
Oh no, dude, he was the goalie. I mean, he was one of the main characters because it was that collection of them.
I guess it's been a while since I've seen that movie, but yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah,
as usual,
as usual. Yeah, no, this is I'm telling you, we appreciate you all. If you want to, hit us up, we'd appreciate that.
Join the conversation.
Yeah.
The topics will get more interesting, I'm sure.
You put ITY, directionsandmusic.org. That'll get all three of us, or we can get individually.
At Gemini, GEMINI, at directionsandmusic.org.
And then Philly D, PHI, LLYD, directionsandmusic.org. Yeah, this is Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Clickety clack, a fact check, and Miss JD.
Yeah, and as always, family, be good to yourself, be good to everyone else.
Much love.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.